Okay, and hopefully we're back for day 2 of the EU West Community Tournament hosted by Convict Gaming. We're going to start off pretty much where we left off from yesterday, really, with Convict Gaming moving into round 3 of the losers bracket, having lost their first game against Zealot Gaming. This is going to be a match between Convict Gaming, the hosts, and International Task Force. Sorry for the delay in starting. We had a little bit of a problem with ITF dragging in a non-listed substitute, but that's all been sorted now. We're going to play by LCS standard rules, and ITF are losing 2 bans for this game. So moving into the pick and bans, there's that to bear in mind. But hopefully, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm joined again by Kiovedis.
Good evening, everyone.
And I'm, of course, Renovate. So you're probably all sick of my voice by now, but let's get the games underway.
The thing is, with the loss of 2 bans, I feel like ITF are a bit of a actually not a bit of a disadvantage. They're a very big disadvantage because what we've seen so far against our Convict Gaming team is targeted bans.
Yeah. Well, you know that Pains wants that Callista. You know that it's new support, but the support yesterday wanted the Nautilus, and you know that Murloc wants a Zia. So
exactly.
Those are the 3 that were coming down every single game. They're the most played champions. They've got the best results on them. Without those bans, how are they going to target them against?
The thing is, I don't feel like they can actually use a target ban strategy when they only have 1 ban. They have to ban a meta champion. There's no way to go about it. They have to ban either Evelyn, Hecarim, Irelia, Graga, something that's just way too strong in the current meta. They might just go for the Nautilus ban because that's the most convertible pick within the roster. It can go jungle, top, or support.
Yep.
And I doubt that they will target ban Azir for 2 reasons. First off, Murloc hasn't had the chance to play Azir these past couple of days. It's always been banned away from him. So I'm not sure if they'll be scared from this for the Azir. They might just decide to counterpick the lane with an assassin in the face of Zed, for example, and just take that matchup.
Be interesting to see what strategy Convict Gaming go though, because obviously they would have had a plan coming into today. ITF played 3 games as well yesterday, so they've kind of had a look at how they play the game, what champions they used in the tournament thus far. Obviously, with the substitute, they haven't had time to research, and they have no idea what kind of impact he's going to bring to the game. Just for everyone watching, the substitute is actually ex-challenger and currently master, so he's a very high standard of play to the game. He's also in a Diamond 1 Ranked 5 team. He's going to be aware of the strategies required to win. His mechanical skill is obviously going to be excellent. So perhaps some of the, if they had, for example, if Convict had some sort of cheese strat planned, it's perhaps something he will see through where ITF's previous team wouldn't have. So it's going to be interesting to see whether it affects their strategy at all going forward, whether they're going to play more conservatively with him on the board, or whether they're going to go for their traditional wombo combo style team.
And here, I feel like this is a bit of a disrespect ban from ITF. Honestly, the team of banners.
I think it may have been
one for the viewers more than anything. But we'll see. KG decided to go for the double ban on bot lane, which is interesting. Apparently, they don't want the big star support player on a playmaking champion like Thresh. We discussed yesterday how convertible Thresh is in different situations of the game. So
yeah, he is excellent. So
taking that away might actually prove to be a very good decision. Echo is open, which I haven't seen a lot of in this tournament.
ITF have used 1 ban, technically. They may just have banned out T-Mode because no one is ever going to play him, theoretically. So they may actually be using their real ban here. So we might see an Echo ban, we might see an Azir ban.
No, they're next to pick. They have first pick. They're both sides. So they've used the ban was a legit Teemo ban. So that's a bit of a disrespect here. Callista is been taken, which is a fair notion. I wonder what's going to happen on KG side, because I expect Azir to be picked up instantly, and then I would expect a top laner to be picked here, or support.
Well, Marco's already banned, so that's now... Maybe they want to pick up the Nautilus.
Open. I have a feeling that we might see the chubby...
There we go, Sejuani.
No, it is going to be Sejuani. Okay, that's
I would have loved a Bard pick there. That would have been excellent. He's so OP. I don't actually know who Nuancy plays in terms of supports, because if that was Murloc's traditional support, I would have expected a Nautilus pick to come out the gate there, because not only is it a great support pick, it also takes it away from ITF. Because obviously...
Not only that, it also doesn't really reveal anything at this point, because Sejuani we know is going to go in the jungle. He's going to go to first Viking. Whereas Nautilus is actually Vikings go to jungler, and he's also the go-to jungler for chilling noob. The go-to support for chilling. So that's a bit of a thing there.
Seeing a Zillion
the summoner spells actually kind of give away that KG are thinking about running either Fizz top or Hecarim top. We'll see about that.
We could see some switches.
Looks like Brand is gonna go top.
Possibly. We'll have a look. I mean, it's still early doors. They may have just had their summoner spells left over from last game. Will this be an Ezreal mid? Are we going to go for that? It has to be.
It most definitely will be. Yeah.
There you go. Smite Ezreal mid. Great. 60% win rate still in solo queue, I believe. Runglaive OP, etc., etc.
The thing about AP Ezreal is that, AP Runglaive Ezreal, I should say, is that it gives a ton of poke mid game, but it actually lacks in the laning phase. The laning phase is incredibly weak for AP Runglaive Ezreal, and I feel like Azir should be able to pressure him for the first 15 minutes of the game. Maybe we'll see a very mid lane centered early game. It might be a team solo mid versus team solo mid situation.
Although Ezreal is very good at escaping, isn't he? He's got the jump, so I mean, and he's got flash
no. The thing is, Ezreal just doesn't have enough wave clear early on. The first 7 levels or so before he actually completes the Runglaive, he has issues sustaining his mana pool. That's why you would see a lot of Ezreal mid players go for purple smite, go for the ranger smite, rather than anything else, just so that they can exchange some damage with their opposition, and then go into the jungle, smite the camp, get HP and mana back, because the thing that you're given up by running smite is you're not getting a tier on Ezreal mid. So you're kind of lacking in the mana regen department there.
Yeah. Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see how it's played. Murloc's obviously very good in Azir. Probably has faced AP Ezreals before. So he may have some experience dealing with it. I would like to see some sort of conservative effort from KG to counterplay the weakness that he presents early games. So whether it's the Sejuani taking the camps around the mid lane away from the enemy jungle, whether it's a lot of coordinated ganks on mid, I don't know. But I would like to see something from them that recognises the threat he poses if he gets rolling, and kind of some preemptive action to make sure that doesn't happen.
The other thing that I like is that Pains went for this very safe AD carry pick here with Sivir, just giving a ton of utility, and then Annie is obviously the premium engage too. What I'm wondering is who's gonna be the support pick for ITF, since Kalista actually does incredibly well in a lane with Bard, and they might just go for that. If that's the case, though, they don't really have a great.
Okay.
A great. That's interesting. I'm not sure if that's just for show or they're actually gonna lock it in. Yeah, they're gonna go for. I think it's a.
Yep. There was just some confusion there. Solsayan wanted some clarification on the tournament rules. We wanted to play top lane basically. We wanted to play support. He's compromised by playing Katarina support. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Katarina is counterable, right? Especially
especially on support, especially against this.
Wukong, Annie, Sejuani, would you have picked Kat into that? I wouldn't have done. Also, really? She may be a challenger, but these guys are all diamond. They've all played against cats before. They all know that the stunlock's the way to go, and they do seem to be playing that wombo-y combo-y. We're just going to hard engage you with all our big, powerful ults and crush you under the damage. Not sure what Kat's going to be able to do to stop it, but maybe that's why she's pairing up with the Kalista. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see what happens. I feel like what's gonna happen is they're gonna have a very, very weakened laning phase because of this pick. Even though I've seen Katarina supporting solo queue work even at higher elo, I don't think that works when everyone is communicating correctly. This should be a situation where KG can get something out of the fact that it is going to be Katarina support.
Hopefully. Sorry, I've just got distracted there. I don't think she brings much to lane. In terms of poke, a little bit of dagger. She's quite mobile. But apart from that,
nothing much really. And the other thing is, keep in mind that it's against a Sivir, at this rate, her Q poke is basically free mana for Sivir, so it's not.
Yeah. I mean, the dagger's animation is slow enough that you can predict when it's coming.
Exactly.
If she jumps on you,
you
you
can
pop
just
the spell
walk
shield,
up and,
you block the
take the
W.
spell shoot.
Yeah. Also, against an Annie, in terms of AP supports, I mean, Annie's terrifying for a reason, right? When that Tibbers comes down at level 6 and stuns you and your ADC, you need something to get out, right? Whether it's an exhaust, which Cat doesn't have, whether it's some sort of shield or a heal or disengage or something. Cat gives none of that. What she gives is damage. But if she gets exhausted by the Annie, then hit with Tibbers QW plus a Sivir Q, I don't think she's going to survive even that, let alone any follow-up auto attacks, which will leave Callista alone. So, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see this one. But let's look at the other lanes anyway. We've got a Gragas jungle for ITF, up against the Sejuani for KG.
Yeah, premier jungle matchup. It's basically the two top tier Cinder Hulk users against one another. It's basically gonna be two tanks bashing each other's head. It's the top lane moved into the jungle, more or less.
Yeah. But then top lane, we have a
top lane is gonna be interesting.
So that's a bit more interesting for me than the jungle. It seems they switched kind of. We've got a bit more damage in the top lane and a bit less tanky. Although Vlad obviously scales incredibly well.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure if Wukong was actually a great pick into Vladimir. I think that Vladimir actually has a lot of pressure in the early part of the laning phase against Wukong.
So. What we may see from ITF, because they picked up the Vlad, and because they have this weird bot lane, we may see a lane swap. Because Vlad has the sustain, he has the puddle to disengage.
I would not be surprised. Even though Vladimir doesn't do as well in lane swap scenarios, because he will be able to CS under turret, but
Wukong won't do that well either. And a lot of that threat that's posed, I mean, by the Annie would be mitigated, and the weaknesses of the Cat would sort of be less obvious in a 2v1 lane. Although still very susceptible to ganks in terms of no stuns, no slows.
Well, the thing is, Callista Katarina is still a pretty safe lane, honestly. Katarina has an innate escape mechanism with her shampoo, so... And then Callista can just Q backwards. Spear backwards.
Oh, look at that tasty challenger bout border. Do you know, interesting, I didn't know this until just now when Murloc messaged me. This team, KG Emperor Murloc, has played against Sol Seon's ranked team in the ranked queue before. So they're old enemies, these two. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes now Sol Seon's at a different team.
Well, I've seen KG going for a very coordinated invade this time around. Yesterday they did not call their top laner into the invades, but this time they're invading as a 5-man squad.
Well, we do see Vlad top.
Yeah, they won't find anyone there.
So, no, they are going now. There's going to be no lane swap, which is great for KG. They're going to move forward into this bush. If the Callista comes into this bush to check, they're not, but they may get caught passing through here by the Callista.
They might, if they wait in this bush, it's going to be big low place right there. Oh, but they miss the Callista just by
They are going to catch the
They're going to see her, they might turn around. Yeah, they're turning around.
They are going to turn around.
And they're definitely going in. I'm not sure it will be enough. Oh, that is one not so dead Callista.
But the heal and the flash burn from Callista in an already weak lane.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big blow to have no Sunder spell straight off the bat. So a good invade from KG where they committed all 5 players to a solid invade. And they're not going to get punished for it. ITF, Katarina's staying by the tower, Ezreal's by the tower, Vlad's walking around his lane a bit, and the Gragas is just waiting by Grump. So KG lost nothing. Annie's down, lost a bit of mana, but
only the Ignite mid lane, which should not be that significant either, since it's an Ezreal with a smite, so he doesn't even have a combat summoner either. So
exactly. I'm just going to line up the champions if you haven't already.
Let's line them up. We're getting
just for the convenience of our audience. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, Murloc's bought his Ignite, so that's fine. We're going to see this kick off. So Wukong Vlad, who wins this matchup? Because it's not.
Well, in the long run, it has to be Vladimir. What's going to be interesting here is whether or not we're going to see a level 2 gank top lane by this Gragas. He might just turn around and try to snowball this lane before it even begins.
Tip the lane in Vlad's favour very early, and it looks like he is going to make his way towards the top lane. Now, when we saw, sorry, who is it in the top lane? Oh, Nuance is actually in the top lane, so it's a different player this time. Cage's top laner yesterday seemed, even when he had wards, to be totally oblivious to the fact he was being ganked. So it'll be interesting to see whether
that
today
might be.
he's a bit more aware of him. He is going to drop a ward, and we're going to see Gragas head towards the mid lane instead of top.
The other thing I was gonna say in champ select is I honestly wasn't sure whether to expect the support carrying to go for the AP support item, go for Stotive Sage, or go for Targons. And going for Targons actually makes it a lot safer. But you still can't walk up to actually use the stacks for now.
Yeah. Although she can execute them with her knife, obviously, but you need to actually
but
kill
it's
them
actually
rather than using the block.
It's not you can kill it, but I'm not sure if you get the Targon stack because I mean you don't get the execute at least because it's not a melee attack, and that's how Targons works.
But for example, if you use Bard, you can execute with Q and stuff, so spells do work. So, or Meeps damage. Here we go. We're seeing Murloc put some pretty heavy damage with the Azir onto the Ezreal. We talk about Ezreal's early game weakness when we're in the champ select lobby, and really
pushing the advantage. What I think is very peculiar is that Ezreal did not go Flask in this matchup, which I think is a mistake. Ezreal has insane issues early on with trading for the first couple of levels, and even though he's gonna have added mana by the fact that he has Dorn's Ring, I feel like the Flask is just too big of a
Gragas is in the bush top lane here.
Yeah,
Sejuani is going to be coming in, but it's going to be. Oh, he's going to flash, but he is going to go down for the first blood. Could have burned the flash, but unfortunately, I don't think of anything off that. Just unaware that Gragas was there. Just engaged a bit too early. If he'd waited a bit longer for the Sejuani, it would have been a lot safer. He didn't play it wrong per se because he wanted to draw the attention to himself, but it was just unlucky that Gragas was there. But maybe he should have expected it because that's a lane that obviously a Vlad can snowball in from the get-go. Doesn't really get any better for him.
He was trying to bait it, but here you can see the fact that Emperor Murloc are also bringing a sub. Even though it's an official sub, you can tell that the synergy between Brent and Viking just isn't as good as their starting roster.
Maybe not. So Vlad has come back to lane already with the Gunblade. Not the Gunblade, the X-Trinker. X-Tech Revolver even. Wukong has come back with an old Magic Mantle for a bit of MR, which will move his total up to 77. That's a lot of MR actually.
Yeah.
I didn't realize quite.
He's definitely running a full MR page on Glyphs at least, but I'm not sure how far that will get him in this lane. The biggest problem is that you take a lot of punishment while you're backing off as Wukong, and that's also when Vladimir heals up. So that's why this lane is very hard to win for Wukong.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and you see now he's taking a lot of poke damages that Vlad returns to full health. But that's going to help him later on, because if we're looking at ITF's team, okay, Vlad, primarily magic damage. Gragas, primarily magic damage, with obviously the percent health on his W. Ezreal, primarily magic damage. Cat, all magic damage. Kalista...
I would not be shocked if they go for double Aegis build here.
Yeah, I think they definitely would. Oh, the Ignite's going to come down on the top lane. Kalista playing Flash, that must have just come up. But is he going to go down? Gragas is coming in.
Ooh, that was also...
Right, yeah. And the Ezreal ult as well.
Yeah,
Fortunately, not going to pick
timing was pretty good there.
Yeah.
Just
but KG are going to walk away from that one. I mean, the trading actually was surprising. Like, there was a surprising amount of damage from ITF. I expected the trades to be a lot more in KG's favour in the bot lane. But they seem to be sustaining quite well. Oh, and Sejuani's going to go in there and Vlad, who's just proxy farming.
Pose any threat to Vladimir. It was more of a just, hi, I'm here kind of move.
Yeah. Just going to have to farm the minions off the tower to reduce the tower damage and wait for Wukong. Vlad's not in a great...
Vlad has no flash, so he is kind of caught up between a rock and a hard place. Sort of.
Pyro and an angry monkey.
Yeah, a Poro Rider and monkey. But I'm not sure the monkey's gonna be able to. No, the monkey doesn't have boots.
No flash. No, it doesn't have flash either, so unfortunately not going to pick up a kill there, but well played-ish by Sejuani. Just again, perhaps a little bit too early, but then he was walking out, so...
Yeah, and actually good movement on ITF side here, where they picked up the dragon, seeing Sejuani going up to cover for the Wukong lane.
Yeah, and they also knew that KG's bot lane were low health, so
yeah, they were also basing.
Not in a position to contest. The Azir had just backed as well, so I mean it was a pretty easy call for them. You know, we've got our lanes under control. Let's take something we can get. So very well played by them.
But it was also very disciplined though. On the other side of things, we can see that Viking is pulling ahead of Gragas because of all the ganking that Gragas has done so far. He might just take this first blue buff for himself, the second blue buff I mean. Whereas I think that the blue buff on KG side will go over to Murloc. We'll see about that one.
Gragas is going to actually transfer it to the Ezreal.
Oh, it will give it to Ezreal. Okay.
Took a massive amount of damage for it though. But then this is kind of what you expect from a Gragas and a Sejuani, right? The Sejuani is going to farm because she needs to be post 6 and have items to be more effective, right? The Gragas is a mid game threat. So yeah, not unexpected.
No, not at all.
KG's going to ward up a bit. Murloc is going to get this blue buff from First Viking.
And the other thing that you can actually pay attention to here is the pink ward placement. As you can see, KG already have one pink ward on the map, and they have two more in their inventories, both on Azir and Sejuani. They will try to establish a lot of control over the bottom side of the map and maybe try to make a play there. Yeah, as you can see, Sejuani is getting.
Well, when you know that on the enemy team there's someone who's got a great deal of game experience and a great deal of game knowledge, you have to kind of respect that and give yourself some counterplay opportunities, right? So being able to give yourself the vision to stop any objective calls or any plays that are being made is not a bad move from KG. Just investing that 100 gold, it's a safe option and it's a smart option. So Katarina's going to go ward here. If the Kalista leaves the tower, we do have the Sejuani waiting in the bottom bush, so we're maybe about to see a kill. Vlad's just pushing to the tower. I think Wukong has resigned himself to the slow farm. Kalista does have ult though, so unless the Sejuani can get a good double ult off, and KG can pretty much clear them out. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. This should be lights off.
Yeah, and there's the first one. Katarina comes out, burns flash, and gets away.
The problem is top lane is becoming an issue. Oh, he won't get it. That was very close.
Very close. Very well played there by KG in the bot and the top lane. Vlad is going to come back in, but Wukong is going to get out. I'm just looking at the minimap there. I don't know whether you've recentered the camera. Gragas is looking at mid lane. Azir is very difficult to gank though, especially when the Ezreal is pinned under his tower. You see the flash roll. Murloc gets ulted over, but dashes out, and I think he's going to walk away from. Oh, good flash! I think he was actually away from that, but now he's trapped. Yeah.
Suddenly,
Vlad just able to rotate down.
He should have flashed towards his base instead of away from it. That was.
I think he was a little worried that the Gragas was going to be able to body slam him again in the narrow pathing between the top of that river and his tower. So I think he was just trying to be safe, but because the Wukong had been forced off, Vlad was looking for something to do, and it was just lucky timing, really, wasn't it? I mean, where else would he have gone?
Yeah. It was just unfortunate that Vlad had the freedom to actually roam down like that.
Yeah, he has obviously picked up Azir's blue buff as well. Wukong is just going to go all in on this.
Yeah, but he is going to.
But Gragas is here, and he's going to go down for it.
I feel like this is a wee bit too much aggression at this point. Sadly, he missed his Q. He actually used the crushing blow, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, crushing blow on a minion there.
No, I don't think it would have secured him the kill, but.
Well, it could have. It was very close.
It is an AA reset as well, isn't it? So
yeah, it's also an auto-attack reset.
So maybe. Interestingly then, we spoke about them having this challenger player and, you know, being wary of that. But bot lane seems to be the lane that KG have won. So
yeah, that well, they're not really winning per se. They are ahead, obviously. But the Q is on the Annie, which would have been obviously better if it wasn't Sivir. The more important part here is that mid lane turret is getting pushed pretty hard.
Yeah,
this
and
is being the case.
And they have a stun lock and loaded for this fight, by the way.
They could go in, and if they manage to get this mid lane turret, they will get access to both buffs in the jungle. So that's something that they should be looking to contest right now.
And they obviously want this next dragon, which is up in 45 seconds, just to even the plate out a bit. Callista is really overextended here. If they choose to go in and catch her, which they are going to do...
that must be a very dead Callista.
It's going to be...
I don't see where that...
Oh, Chilling Noob may have just gone in a bit too soon. See, she's already taken the damage at this point for the towers. We're going to see a flash over the wall. Boomerang Blade is going to miss, and Murloc is going to come in.
Gonna pick it up.
It's a good person to have a kill on, though. And the assist, obviously, on Sivir and Annie, so it's great.
Even though she did waste a bit of time, in that situation I feel like she should have just saved her flash, because there was no way she was getting away. Like, at this elo it doesn't happen, like, you just flash a wall and then there's no one there to stop you. Like...
Yep. Originally the semi-final, the first of the semi-final games between Zealot Gaming and Tactical Gaming was meant to be starting at 8 o'clock. I'm not sure whether they're going to decide to start and play the first game without the stream coverage, or whether they would like to wait for us to catch them up. So we may be joining them a bit late, but if that's the case, we'll at least catch the second game. We'll join them halfway through the first, as soon as this one is finished. So that's what's up next anyway. But let's get to the end of this one first.
At this point, ITF actually have a bit of a goal advantage.
Only 1k.
1k.
They also have a dragon.
It's basically on top lane. At this point they will be giving out Drake, because KG just timed the blue buff, so that it coincides with the Drake. Figured, yeah,
the thing
we're
is,
just gonna go for it.
in terms of what each of the top laners bring to a team fight, okay? Yes, Vlad does a lot of damage. Yes, he can sustain himself. He's almost like an AP tank that does a crap ton of damage, right? And Callista's getting caught again and is going to go down here.
Yeah.
Just to ensure that quickly. Not a lot to say about that. It's just an overextension problem. But
yeah, at this point, bot lane is winning for KG.
Yeah, there you go.
We can safely say that they are winning. This is no longer the case of being ahead.
Yeah. In terms of what these top laners bring to the fight, though, in team fights. Yes, Vlad is a sustaining AP tank, damage dealer, assassin, whatever you want to call him, right? But Wukong, he's bringing in his ult, right? Which he doesn't actually need a lot of stats to use. And what that ult does...
it's more about the CC.
It adds into the combo that KG already have. They already have the Sejuani ult, they already have the AoE Annie stun, they already have all those Azir soldiers pumping damage in, and the Wukong just gives them a little bit more CC and more like AoE damage to clean out ITF. And I think that's going to be crucial. If KG can use this ult wombo combo to lock everyone in, if Vlad is the only one up because of his sustain and tankiness, he's not going to be able to do anything against the 5 members of KG. He may get a couple of kills, but in the end he's not going to be able to stop them taking the objectives they want. And if Murloc can get the damage down on Vlad before a fight even starts, I don't think there's a lot they can do against it. So it'll just be interesting to see how KG play this, because they're not really getting anywhere in this lane at the minute. The wave clear on ITF's team is just too good. So top outer tower is still up, but if they leave the lane...
The thing is, both lanes for KG, both of the side lines, are pushing on their own. So at this point, even though the CS is dying from ITF side, it's ITF who are on pressure to actually get something done and be able to rotate to catch those waves. Wukong is going to get top lane for free from this, even though Vlad is right now trying to cut him off. And I really liked the...
He is going to teleport though.
Oh yeah, this is going to be good for...
Now Vlad is gone.
They can just re-initiate mid lane and have Wukong support with TP. And just get a 5v4 fight. At this point, KG actually grouped up at a very good moment, because they all have their first item damage spikes. Sejuani has her Cinderhole complete, Murloc is on Moraeonomicon, then Sivir has her BF sword and a pickaxe, so at this point they're very strong.
Oh, no, it's going to burn his ult and that with Tibbers is going to dash out using
But the re-engage might be just way too good. I feel like KG can clean up here.
And the Wukong has used his teleport onto the Annie.
Yeah, but
Tibbers
is kind of low.
Yeah.
Still,
but,
they got the kill and a turret.
And a turret for nothing. But Vlad is coming down. They need to be wary of ITF re-engaging, but they've made a very intelligent move here, decided to back off. Their bot turret is taking some damage from minions. They've got the objective they were there for, they've got a kill, so they can just walk away pretty pleased, I think, with the way that fight went. They're 300 gold up now, and they seem to have a decent momentum. They've got okay ward coverage. They just need to get these lanes re-pushing and then see what happens next.
Yeah, I see that the question about Azur's might choice for Rangers here comes into consideration again. We already discussed that it's actually the premier choice for most Ezreal mid laners because they lack innate wave clear before they have some AP before they get their Runeblade and Luden's Echo. It also is a situation where they can't really effectively trade in lane. They go back behind in trades because they're getting pushed up and they're just taking a lot of bulk. And that just gives them the opportunity to sit back, go into the jungle, just smite wolves and create both vision in the topside jungle for their jungler who doesn't necessarily want to smite wolves early on, who prefer smiting raptors and getting the oracles. Yep. And also getting some mana and HP back to continue their laning. At this point, it seems like KG should just keep grouping and keep forcing down mid lane. If they can separate the farm between Vladimir and Ezreal here, and Kalista, so neither of them is getting solo lane farm and experience, that's actually very good for KG because at that point Vladimir and Kalista aren't scaling up into the late game monster there, and neither is Ezreal. Ezreal is really scary 35 minutes into the game when he has 400, 500 AP with 4 completed items.
I mean, his farm at the minute is good though. He has done a great job of farming in the mid lane despite the pressure that Murloc's put on him, but he's not got any. He's only got the assist, but he hasn't died. He's played very safely and farmed very well, but he's still. Oh, we're gonna see an engage here from the Vladimir. He's just gonna go in and drop his ulti and just walk straight up. But the Tibbers is gonna go down.
The Arena tries to go in. She gets the reset, but I'm not sure how big that will be for ITF.
Flash there from. Well, they got the kill.
They get the kill on Annie, but Gragas actually still has ulti. But he has no flash to actually initiate.
Too far behind, Murloc is going to make his way towards the top lane. The Kalista wasn't there, so that was a 4v4. But I think, the Vladimir, was he 3-0 beforehand, or was he 2-0 beforehand? Either way, he's pretty far ahead of the Wukong. And big enough that he just literally walked into the middle of the KG team there and went, I'm coming in, here's my ult, here's the damage, I'll see you guys later. Oh, and there's the Gragas ult. Gonna pick up the Sejuani kill. Kalista's just free farming here. The problem with how big Vlad is he's got enough pressure that even with 5 members, KG can't do anything about it, right? So Kalista is free to split push bot, which is unfortunate.
The only thing I dislike about this is that KG are holding back on rushing their first Aegis. We're seeing that Annie is going to go for Righteous Glory here. I don't think there's any other situation where she would go for an early Catalyst. Is what seems to be doing.
Don't think it'll be a run of
and I feel no, it's definitely a Righteous Glory. And then I feel like it's probably Sejuani's task to get the early Aegis. That's what that. Or she might be going for just a Warmox here. I would not be shocked. Warmox is actually very effective against the composition that.
I would be surprised. I think it will be an Aegis, either a Banner of Command or a Locket.
It should be an Aegis, honestly. They really need it. There's 4 AP threats on ITF side.
And Kalista has overextended yet again, and it's going to get stunned. Kalista ulti comes down, and down goes Kalista. She's desperately trying to get this farm, but 0 wards. The closest ward to her is behind the red buff on ITF side, and that's it. That's the only vision they have between her and mid lane. So I think the cat is roaming to try and get kills and try and get some control of the game, and has left Kalista to farm, which is fine in theory, but has kind of left the Kalista
already
exposed. Couple of tower hits going down there into the Chilling Noob and one onto Pains, leaving them both pretty low, within reset range, shall we say. Although at the minute Katarina does not have a lot of AP. Gragas is going to make his way down, but Sejuani and Azir are both in the jungle. They're going to catch him, walk past the ward, and in goes Murloc with some poke. Sejuani still hasn't been split. Vlad just pushing up the top lane. I think Vlad's TP is now up, and so is Wukong's. Obviously, Wukong has the ability to interrupt the Vladimir TP. Vladimir
look at that damage already. Vladimir has his Zonias. This is the situation in the matchup that I was referring to, where Gragas just becomes incredibly, not Gragas, but Vladimir becomes incredibly annoying when he's actually 2 items in, yeah, there's only so much you can do on a melee champion against him.
And
Unless
he is
you're
going
Rumble.
to pick up the. Yeah, they are going to pick up the Gragas kill mid lane, and I think they'll carry on pushing the tower. While Vlad is not going to be able to take the top tower because he lacks the minions to do so, unfortunately. So what are Convict going to do with this? There's a red buff to take. They may be rotating top to respond to the threat posed by the Vladimir. Yes, I think that's what they're going to do here. Nope, just taking the red buff. Just going to leave Vlad. Bot lane are putting some pressure in on the tower. The Ezreal's coming down, but he has been spotted. KG's got some really good ward coverage in the bottom side jungle, so unlikely to get ambushed. Murloc on Azir and the Sejuani are both making their way top. This time they engage much better timed. Vlad is just going to ult onto Azir, who's just going to back off so that Vlad can't get the damage, but there he goes. Flash from Azir to block the damage. Down goes the Hourglass. Murloc needs to back away. And there's the shutdown on Vlad. Very well played by Murloc on Azir there.
Yeah, the flash was on point. It was a bit of a messy fight, given that they were in a 3v1. But yeah, this is how big Vlad gets very fast.
That's sort of how Vlad works as well, especially when he has his Hourglass, right? Because he can go to that puddle, and then you do some damage when he comes out, and then he goes into Hourglass, and you do some damage, and then he goes into puddle, and you're like, come on, when can I kill this guy?
Yeah.
But got him in the end. Kalista overextending again, although KG not in a position to take.
It doesn't seem that she'll be punished as hard as she's been so far.
At a certain point in the game, you just have to go, my god, just let her farm. Although, Wukong does still have TP up, so he could burn it to get down there. With no, tower's gone. But potentially an engage here from KG. They've spotted the 2 on the ward there, they know the Kallista's there, Wukong has TP up, so if we were to teleport onto the minion wave behind them, and the other 3 members of KG that are around, 4 now with Murloc joining them on Azir, they could turn this very quickly. Although I think they just want to re-establish vision control before they make any hasty moves. I think when Vlad shows top side, they're going to push in.
this was actually a very questionable face check from Sivir.
I think it's going to be a kill.
Oh, but the E does not connect.
Ult burnt to escape though from Sivir.
So was flash and heal, even though Kalista flashed in as well. It wasn't enough. If Kalista rendered there, she would have gotten the kill just for the slow. She didn't need to execute. That's a common thing that a lot of Kalista players tend to do. They really want that execute.
You want to see it at the end game lobby, largest hit, and you're like, yeah, look at that 4 million damage from Rend. Get wrecked, scrubs, etc. Yeah, very well played though by Pains to get out of that. Questionable face check that put him in the situation, but wasn't punished for it, so not too bad. So what the Convict Gaming need to do at this point? Because obviously Vlad is massive. Ezreal becomes a threat later on. Kalista, although is 0-4, still not farming terribly. Has Hurricane completed, has Bloodthirsty completed. So, you know, how do the teams scale up late game? Who's going to have the advantage if it gets to 40 minutes?
Well, at this point, KG actually have the first Aegis completed. I expect this to go into a locket. And then I would not be surprised if Annie at some point goes for Banner of Command. That would be a very strong choice, and it will make sure that even if the main frontliner Sejuani dies, their team is not going to be missing that Aegis AoE bonuses.
And it does make so much difference in team fights, doesn't it?
Yeah, the other thing that's very important is that in that case, they can actually start split push without having a person in a lane. That is something that a lot of high ranking teams are abusing right now, because Banner of Command has been a very good support item for quite some time. You just don't see it used a lot because most of the time games are won just by better team fighting, not so much by better wave control. You see it a lot used in LCK and Chinese.
The thing is though, right, if you have the better team fighting, there's nothing wrong with having the Banner of Command and getting the lane split pushing anyway. Oh, yeah, just a bit too early from the Gragas though. I think we left the Dragon still got like 30 HP. The Gragas slot's going to come down. UNC is going to take... Oh no, that was his clone. It even fooled me. And everyone's going to dash away from the pit before Vlad can engage.
Gragas survived on single digit HP.
And he just getting a stun up there on Vlad, as I believe he was just trying to cast his ulti on that. Kalista's going to hook in the cat. It's going to get chucked forward, but just a bit too far away. They don't want to go through those sand soldiers. Damage is just too great, and Sejuani's going to get out as well. A lot of damage coming in from Murloc. two
the
of
strength
KG's.
of the Azir pick. It's just an incredible amount of zone control.
It is. You just create areas of the map where it's just not safe to be in because of those soldiers. Two of KG's team have already backed off and healed up. That's the Sivir and the Wukong, so they're ready to engage now at this point. Ults, we still have all of the ults up except Sivir's and Sejuani's for KG, and all ults bar Katrina and Ezreal's burnt for ITF. So
No, Katarina, Vlad, and Gragas are out of ultis. Ezreal and oh, Katarina actually has ulti. You mean Kalista?
No, Cat has ulti and Ezreal has ulti. But here we go, the fight's in anyway. Cat gets the shutdown. Here goes in. The flash there from Chilling. They've got the stun down, but just a little too late, I think. I think he was trying to charge the stun
might
spikes
be
up for the fight.
the one right there.
Maybe.
And
just
Azir doing Azir things.
Yeah, that's what we talked about then. Vlad, the last one alive, right? He has the help, has the damage, but his team's dead. What's he meant to do against an Azir and a Sejuani? Sejuani, look how little damage First Viking took that fight. And he was in the middle for the entire
Well, he had to base, and he came back into the team fight. He re-engaged, so it wasn't that he was fighting the entire time. He actually got the smite off on the dragon and then had to go back to base. But that was a very well executed team fight from KG's side.
It was good. Also, though, something to be aware of is ITF were actually low before that fight started. None of them had backed off after that dragon fight. KG had backed, they'd spent the gold they had in their bags, and still lost 3 members to that fight. Yes, they cleared out 5, but Azir went quite low. Sejuani didn't go low, but doesn't really want to be left alone, right? So, are Convict really that much stronger in team fights? Because if you're gonna lose 3 people anyway, when you've all been back and chopped and healed, to a half-health team with very few ults, you know, are they going to be looking for more team fights, or are they just going for picks and split pushes at this point?
The thing is, as things stand, once Locket is complete on KG side, I feel like they have the advantage in team fights. Wukong already has his Banshee's Veil complete, and the Hex Drinker, so he's very, very resistant. There's the Locket complete, and at this point, KG should be looking to force a fight around an objective.
And they might as well just finished Hat or Ludens as well.
Yeah.
I don't know which one he had before, but it finished another big item.
He just finished his Death Cap. The standard build is more Nomicon into Luden's Echo. What I would like to see from Azir here, honestly, is something that you don't see very often. It's a Rylai's.
Okay.
It just adds the added benefit of the slow, and it just makes him a CC zone control machine for every team fight. At that point, ITF will just be unable to engage, because every time they try to go in, they will have Murloc just slow them down from 1500 range with the Sand Soldiers.
Yeah. A great engage type. Vlad does not have does have TP up, sorry, so although KG are putting 5-on-3 at the minute pressure onto the middle tower, I think they are actually going to take it down. ITF just
this is a fairly free tower. Vladimir is just not there.
Gragas just burned his ult there.
Yeah, that was a very good rotation on KG's side, and they could actually re-engage here. If they turn around and get a good fight around the destroyed turret, they could use the Azir passive. I believe it's still up. Yes, it is actually up.
Yeah.
So if they manage to push up here, they could force a fight.
Sejuani
went bot to wave clear, yeah. So they will have to play a bit of distance.
For now. The Sejuani ult is up though.
Yeah, all ults on KG side are up, and Gragas doesn't have his, so that's the main point. What this team wants to do on ITF side, the thing about AP Ezreal, it's very dominant, but it needs time to put some poke in. Whereas you can see, exactly, Murloc just gets 1 Q auto, and that's about it. And then you see the straight Q to the face from Ezreal, that mystic shot doing 700 in return.
Well, the problem is, Murloc obviously has no magic resistance at the minute. He's relying on the Sejuani to give him the Aegis. So, I mean, in a pretty dangerous position. He's going to be eating those Qs. And Annie has
engage, but I don't think it's going to result in anything.
Yeah. Ezreal ulti burnt there. Annie has picked up a null magic mantle now, so hopefully we will see.
I have the hope for the Banner of Command.
Hopefully. Did you teach him well?
Well, we will see. We will see.
ITF are going to pick up that tower. Murloc just throwing some poke down as ITF retreat. Wukong is top lane, does have the TP up. Katarina is backing. Yeah, KG aren't going to see it. Siva's back in the back as well. So I think it's just going to be a return to farming and shoving some lanes. Someone has to respond to the Wukong top because he's got 2 waves now shoving in top lane, and Convict have bot lane pushing as well.
Yeah, it's actually auto pushing on Convict side because it's frozen on a wee bit onto KG side. Just
They've been really good at wave control this game, because all they do is they go up to the side lanes, get things pushing, and oh look, Dragon's up. So suddenly they've got the objectives controlled, because they've created pressure without the need to commit a person to it, just in advance of the objective spawning. And they did it before they pressured the mid tower then. They did it again when they saw the Dragon timer about to cool down. At least I think that's why they did it. They just may be on autopilot at this stage, but hopefully that's why they did it. Kalista, once again, overextending in the bot lane. I think it's, yeah, we've seen it a lot of times, and we're going to see Convict go in for this Dragon. Third is actually a pretty big Dragon. It's the 5% move speed. It's very important, especially.
ITF were kind enough to give them a leash here for the wave. Let's see if they manage to get the steal off this time. No, they won't.
They will not.
That was a coordinated burst.
Yeah. They're once again trapped in the pit. Wukong is going to go in on the Gragas. Needs to be so careful of this Vladimir though. Going to have to back off though.
Yeah, this should be an easy cleanup for Convict Gaming.
Yeah, flooding some flashes here. How are they going to respond to this? Ooh, into the puddle. Oh, there's the flash. Is he going to get away?
Nope.
Nope. The rest of ITF.
This might turn into... No, they don't have the wave yet, but if they push up mid lane, they might actually try to get an inhibitor turret here.
Is it safer just to get the Baron?
No, I don't feel like this is the Baron call that they need. They can just play it safe and try to push up while the most... Well, basically the person who most of the gold on ITF side is concentrated on is dead.
Pretty sure Siva just absorbed Ezreal there into a spell shield.
Just spell shield.
Yeah. Good. Gragas is looking to drive chilling you buff a ward clear to maintain ITF's vision coverage. And KG are going to split up now and go through the jungle to try and clear out and grab whatever gold they can.
The buffs and play it even safer. Just deny buffs for...
That may have been a dangerous call. Oh my god.
That seemed a bit of a wishful thinking play, but...
Cat and Gragas have been forced off this fight.
Sivir will manage to clean up at least 2 kills. And I was very... The other thing about this Katarina support pick is that, yeah, sure, even if it's a Masters or a Challenger player, if he does well on Katarina, it's still a support pick. It's not... Yeah, he should not be allowed to carry this game from Katarina support. Especially if he has to invest into Targons and
oh my god,
a side stone. At that point it was actually Viking decided to not chase, because there's no way he's gonna kill Katarina in time. And he's walking basically into an area without vision, because the top lane Tribush and the top lane itself is actually a blind spot for red side. At this point, the only thing that's actually staying constant is Vladimir's dominance over top lane. Obviously, Sivir is in a lot better spot, given that she has 6 kills compared to Kalista 6 deaths.
I think actually the other consistent thing is Kalista's pure dedication to pushing bot lane. I actually, in a solo queue game once, I saw a Yi that went 0 and 15, because all he'd do is respawn and right-click the closest minion to him in bot lane, and he'd go back again and again and again, and the rest of us were kind of trying to play around it and like group mid to defend the counter push, and eventually he got all the way to the Nexus and won the game. So, I mean, we could see it happen.
I don't think that is what we're gonna see today. Let's be real here. I honestly hope we don't see that today.
I do as well, but hey, stranger things have happened in the League of Legends. KG are now 2k ahead. Yeah, sitting on 2k ahead. It's comfortable. They have the better team fight, I feel. They've executed better in team fights, but Righteous Glory has been burnt by the Gragas.
Murloc is getting
get caught, but she got a
Oh,
huge amount
but
of damage.
he actually got an incredible disengage ulti on 4 people, and this should be lights out. The quadra kill full waste on KG's side. They're gonna go for the inhibitor, and they have 35 seconds. They might just go for an Nexus turret as well.
Go for the win.
No, they don't really have the wave here. They do have T-burst to tank, but I don't think it's gonna be enough.
Pretty low.
And they might actually get it. They might actually get it.
For it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Just what we talked about though. It's the team fight.
It might just be enough.
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's enough. And they're gonna go for the win. 5 seconds on Cat.
They got it.
Reset sitting around, but yeah, it's gonna go. And that's the game. Good game, well played. Convict Gaming, the game is closed. And what did it come down to? The team fight mechanics. Yes, Vladimir was ahead, but do you see how much damage the Wukong did on his ult there? And the amount of CC it provided when he dashed in? Just, you know what, they said, fine, Wukong.
It was simply the wombo combo in effect. Sejuani ulti onto Murlocs.
But he's such a good and such a well-disciplined player that even though he was caught out, just altered everyone back in towards chilling noob. Down came the Tibbers, in went the Wukong, in went the Sejuani ult. There's not really a lot of counterplay to that. You just get CC locked and then good game, well played. But that concludes that game. So Convict Gaming will advance to the semi-final stage of the competition. Up next we have the first of our semi-finals. The only one's been played tonight, but it's going to be Zelot Gaming and Favourites Tactical Gaming in a best of 3.